All right, so the last part of our presentation today will be on Bright Blue. So Bright Blue is our new access control system. It was launched about 2.5 years ago, but it's based on a product that has been out in the market for about 30 years. So really what they did is they took a product that was kind of unlimited doors, unlimited users. They scaled it down to what 80% of the access control market wants, which is 1 to 25 doors and simple. Just issue cards. Cards have access during certain times of day, easily pull up reports, things like that. So that's kind of what the idea behind Bright Blue was. So really what it is it's just a simplified access control system. It's web-based, so it's IP-based. The software actually comes preloaded on this little USB drive that's flashing orange at you. That's a little USB drive that comes with all the software on there. It stores all of your activities, it stores who can go where at what time, and that's really what's making the decisions. So rather than having a dedicated computer that you have to basically purchase and sit in a closet somewhere with one function of operating the system, we kind of free you from having a dedicated computer, because any computer that's locked in your local area network or can get access to your local area network from home or from abroad can access Bright Blue, make changes, and it stores and remembers that on the panel itself. So really all Bright Blue is the brain. It's just the decision-making brain of deciding who can go where at what time, right, and pulling that report. As far as installation and the software, really the user interface on this is what really sells it. And we have little tutorials that you can download and show end users or play around with it yourself. But it's just a really slick, nice little, it's like logging into a web page. What do I want to do? Add a user, make a new time zone, and it's really intuitive. It's all wizard based. They've kind of really done a good job of making it step by step by step, and then if you forget something, there's interactive tutorials that you can use. This is a little bit older presentation, but it can support regular card readers, whether it's the Schlage readers. It can support HID readers. We have some people that have an old panel with existing readers. You can easily switch that out for a Bright Blue system. It also supports our legacy VIP and wireless locks, as well as our new AD hardwired and wireless locks as well. And then you also have an option of adding video integration in the future. To make it as simple as it is, we've put a cap on how many users and how many doors you can have on the system. Out of the box, it really one size fits all. If you want Bright Blue for 1 door or you want Bright Blue for 32 doors, it's the same exact enclosure for the panel side. It can support 32 doors, 5,000 card holders. So that's why we say it's really been designed for that part of the market that's 1 to 25 doors, because that's the majority of the market. And we say 25 because, well, 25 plus 7, expansion in the future if they want to add some readers. If you're at 36 doors, 40 doors, usually that type of customer is going to have different requirements, different, pieces and parts of the software that they want to integrate with their IT software, and all these other things that there are products in the market that we manufacture as well as others that fit that need. This is really for that simple access controls, medical office, commercial building that just wants a simple way to have badge access to their property. The installation has been kind of the biggest piece that I've seen that is a big benefit of the lock or of the system. Each one of these columns right here, this is 8 doors, 8 doors, 8 doors, 8 doors. So for a total of 32 doors. You bring power onto the lock, and then we have power terminals at the bottom to power those, those readers out on the field. as far as our locks, our VIP, our 8300s hardwired locks or our wireless locks, we obviously integrate with our own system very well. So if you have, a lock set that's an 8300, it's just you mount the lock on the door. You have 4 wires go back to the panel and into one of these blocks right here. And I'll pass one of these out. This is just a little easy wiring terminal block. Two wires for power, 2 wires for data. All you need is you put this in the electrical closet, you have a power supply there, and then you have 4 wires to each of your doors. I mean, there's really nothing else that you need to do, and it, as far as wiring, it's not very difficult. So this is just kind of showing you what a traditional access control system is made up of, right? You have a card reader on the wall. This is demonstrating that you have some kind of electric strike. That might be a mag lock, that might be some other electrically locking device. You have a door contact somewhere, on the door, a request to exit motion sensor that's on the inside, seeing that people are leaving. And then all of that wires up to an interface board. And this is how, how Bright Blue can do it. It's also how the majority of access control systems work. All of these wire runs are pretty standard. Card data is weakened, and it's either 2 or 6 wires for each of these. That's what we're demonstrating here. We have a card reader. Basically, when I present this card, that information goes into this reader face board. It translates it into a language that Bright Blue understands. This goes 4 wires back into here. The USB drive makes the decision, yes, Igor is allowed in that door, and then instantly it just sends it back to here and unlocks the door. And you hear that relay click, that's unlocking a door. Same thing if this is a request to exit, that might be a motion sensor, that might be a crash bar with the Rex in it. If I hit that, it also unlocks the door, and it's signaling the system as well. The door contact, so if I had a door forced open or door held open alarm, that's what this little light is for. And then maybe you have a secretary that has a little push button that can, unlock that door from the desk. So this is symbolizing what a traditional wired system, does and how it operates, what the components are, and just a couple wires from each of these components landing on this interface board in a standard sequence.
So if there's a forced open, how far into the system does that signal get transmitted?
So basically, that gets pulled, there's a door forced open, it just sent it into here. If I had a camera, I can link up to 32 cameras, 1 camera per door. I can trigger a camera to record that activity, and that's where you get the most power out of your cameras, is when you link it.
Where would you pull that trigger from?
So from here, it would be off the reader interface.
Off the reader. And that's in the door.
That's typically it would be above the door. It's above the door, so all your wire goes right there, and then it's just 4 clean wires going back, rather than having this long pull back.
So if you don't have the reader interface board, you can't do those kinds of
Yeah,
options.
if you want this traditional system, you need a reader interface board. And with some systems, they put the interface board inside the panel. We put it outside the panel so that you have a 4-wire run, because this can be, again, up to 1,000 feet really away from the panel. So then you save a lot of wire when you do it that way. Because instead of, these are all separate wires, 6 here, 2, 2, 2, you don't have all that wire going back. We have some people that put, I've seen installations where the reader interfaces, they come in little boxes like this. I'll pass it around. And this one is actually a networked one. So instead of going 4 wires back, you just plug it into the, into your network, and it can communicate from anywhere in the world. So your 32 doors, all of a sudden, one can be in Northern Cal, one can be in Southern Cal, you can have 12 in Colorado, whatever you want by having these reader interfaces out in the field. But this just makes it a clean, easy wiring, so it goes to one point and then goes back. This is the traditional system. If we switch that to a wireless system, we eliminate all of the wires essentially. We have a wireless lock that's mounted on the door, and I forgot to mention, actually, Major Manufacturing makes a jig that mounts the door for the cylindrical and the mortise lock that has all your hole pattern already pre-done. So it's, we use that quite a bit. But you just mount the wireless lock on the door. Within 200 feet radius or 1,000 feet line of sight, it talks to this wireless piece, which is this. And then with our system, This is just, you can see, a 2-wire connection going out, back into bright blue. So for a full 32-door system, all you really need is 2 antennas, 2 panel interface modules, bright blue, a power supply, and 32 locks out on the field. You know, and this is getting communicated real time. So this lock right here, which is a wireless lock, you'll see in the software we're getting active, you know, responses from that. And the reason we show it this way with the interface board is if we're with a third-party access control system. So one of these with bright blue supports 16 wireless locks with bright blue. If it's with a third-party system, it does 2 doors for the system. And that's just based on, we convert it into that Wiegand language that everybody understands and communicates in. So for a third-party access control system, seeing this into their interface board, you know, a separate card data, a separate lock relay, seeing all those different signals, or seeing it from our wireless panel interface module into their system, they see it as the same exact way. That's why we are open architecture. We can integrate into anybody's system. As far as the signal, what we have the most trouble with would be metal. It's not as much concrete, you know, it doesn't block the signal that much. Like, that's why this cover, the back cover, is more, you know, kind of a hard plastic material, so it doesn't have, you know, direct metal right there. And we can, you know, between floors, anytime you're doing between floors, we would test, because there's a lot of HVAC equipment and piping and different things that might interfere. But I mean, I've gotten through as many as 4 stories, 5 stories, you know, in some scenarios. But those are all things we want to test for. And then also when you're thinking about where to put your antenna, you know, think about if there's an elevator in the building, you know, and it's a newer elevator, it's basically, I mean, that thing's, you know, a steel block that's going up and down. Test with it on your floor, you know, especially if you're trying, you know, I just wouldn't put this here, have an elevator there, and try to get a lock on the other side. You know, I would just position, you know, think about those kinds of things when I'm positioning it. But like Bill said, you know, Access Hardware has test kits. You know, we have test kits. They're, you know, if you're doing enough wireless locks, it's a handy tool to have. It's basically an antenna that you plug in. You put it into link mode by, you know, hitting one of these link buttons, and then you walk around with a little handheld. Yep, green light. Yep, green light. Yep, green light. That tests at 50%, so you know for certain that you're gonna work. First time you call Access Hardware Supply up. They'll come and they'll go through the process as far as testing. You just want to test it, you know, where the antenna is actually going to go, you know. But for short runs, you know, a lot of people just put, you know, have 2 doors within the same hallway. Sometimes it's not really even necessary to test when you get a good range or a good feel for how the solution performs. So one other solution we have is, say you have you know, a vehicle gate, or maybe you have somebody that wants a card reader over there, but there's no way to get a reader interface and wire from your access control system to that door. We have wireless reader interfaces that will wire up the same exact way like a regular card reader, but will wirelessly communicate back and forth to our panel interface module, and then link into our system or a third-party system. And this just kind of shows you the system architecture. So, you know, we connect through the local area network to Bright Blue, and that's just, you know, a Cat5 Ethernet cable from your computer into the wall somewhere, or a network switch. So you log in through a web browser. That's how you access it. And then, yeah, here's the 4,000 feet maximums to a reader interface, to a panel interface module, or directly to the lock. You know, those are kind of the setups. Or we can have a SBB, it's all Schlage Bright Blue, the part numbers are SBB. The NRI is that network reader interface that was going around that has that IP, an Ethernet connection right on board as well. You know, one big advantage of this solution is, you know, you buy it and you own it. You know, we don't charge for doors per person. You know, everything that comes in the software is standard. It has some kind of interface for the web on there, you know, and then you'll have your local area network that it'll plug into. So if, you know, we've had some people that say, well, I wanted to just put it on the World Wide Web so I can just log into the website from anywhere. You know, we like it behind somebody's firewall, but they can do that too. So the way we log in right now, I'm in Internet Explorer. You know, just regular Internet Explorer. Firefox is also supported. 192.168.168.250. That's the IP address that it ships with in the box.
Safari also supports that.
Oh, Safari does? Cool. So I go there. It pulls it up, and I'm just logging in to Bright Blue right now. I put in a username and login. Username, password, log in. And here's our screen, right? So we've got Bright Blue. On the left side, we have activity, reports, personnel, access, time zones, calendar events. I mean, it's pretty intuitive of where you're going to go to do the different activities. If we click on activity, this right here shows you, you know, valid access, access denied. Does anybody have their own prox card? Here with them. Take one. Or, yeah, here. Yeah, so here's just the regular key fob. So just to demonstrate, this would be, you know, on a regular door. And here's a wireless lock that I've linked. So red. And 11.250. So you can see access denied, credential not assigned to anyone, demo kit reader. You know, here's the date, time, and wireless demo lock, right? If I go with my card, you know, I go here, I have access there. I go here, I have access there. Okay? So both the wireless lock and the hardwired lock are really giving me the same. This kind of goes on a 50-second refresh. And you can see Igor Tladnikov with that encoded ID walked into those two different doors. You want to come up and be a volunteer to scroll through? So we'll just show you how easy it is to program in a card into the system. Also down here, this is giving you door forced open alarms, things like that. So if we had a door forced open alarm, it would show up on the bottom. You know, just showing you request to enter activated because I was playing with the lock. And click refresh right here. So it kind of color codes your different transactions and things. Yeah, so door forced open is in red. You know, just simple things like that. So if you go to personnel, let's go ahead and program you in 11.250. And 11.250 is on the fob itself. There's a number right here. The encoded ID is written on it. When you get a box of these, you know, it'll show you your encoded ID string usually. You could actually import personnel data if you wanted to program 1,000 people all at once. HR gives you a spreadsheet. You can import that all at once. So go ahead, personnel. So again, like I said, wizard based. Add a new person. Do I want to view or modify? You know, where do I go? Add a new person. Go ahead, put your name in. These personnel, these 6 grayed out boxes, you could make those say anything you want. Department, vehicle ID, you know, and then you could search and program by groups in the same department. You know, IT department gets access to all their closets. Go ahead to credentials, and then in encoded ID 11.250. Okay, and then at the top, click Save. And then you can see access blocked and special access privileges. Access blocked I block this person's access everywhere on site. And if he tries to go in, I'll get a record that they tried to go in. Special access privileges is, say I need, instead of 3 seconds through this door, I want a little more time to get through. 6 seconds, you can do that per person per door.
Oh, nice.
And then activation date, you know, if you have an event coming up, you can have cards only activate on a certain date, you know, and only be good for that one day. So if you click on access assignments, you can see no access right now. If you clicked on add or remove on the bottom right, you could do it there. Or go ahead and click on this one on the left side. Yeah, so it goes directly to there. Click on access assignments on the left. Yeah, right there. So when you're doing access, you can program by a person, by a group of people, or if you just add one door, you can copy access rights from one door to another. So go ahead, view or change a person's access. it'll have your whole list here. The last person you worked on is going to populate right away, or you can go to a personnel search, you know, and search for the people you want. So click OK. So here we can see that right now we don't have any access. So let's go ahead, double click on the demo kit reader. So it pulls it up. So access, you know, permitted access time zone. So if you click on always, up the scroll down, yeah. So you can see that there's only 3 in here. I create those in time zones. So I could make new ones or do whatever I wanted. So let's go keep it as always. Toggle, go ahead and check toggle. Toggle is if you swipe twice, it'll actually leave that door unlocked. Let's see if I have toggle. So it'll leave that door unlocked indefinitely until I set a toggle cancel time, maybe at 5 p.m. for that door, or I come back to the door, I swipe twice again, and it toggles that door closed. So it makes it, you know, an easy way to assign a toggle credential. And then pass-through status is if you lock down that door, people with a pass-through credential will still get through that door. So it's like a master credential. Okay, so press OK. And then do the same thing for wireless. Or you can just click yes, yeah. Okay? Click pass-through status. And then press OK. And then save changes. Okay, so we've done that. Go ahead to door status and control. So this is a quick way to see, are my doors locked? Are they unlocked? You know, what state are they in? Do I want to put everything into a lockdown? And it'll just ping all these doors and say, okay, are we communicating? Am I open or closed, locked or unlocked? And you can see, you know, the inside reader, that's offline. The demo kit reader, which is this one, it's online, it's closed, and it's locked. And it's a normal state. The wireless demo, this lock here, since we don't have a door contact installed, it's showing that it's open. Okay, and that's why you see that it's open right there. So that might be, you know, at the end of the day, I check that and, oh, my door's propped open. You know, I should go close that. So if we wanted to select the demo kit reader, the checkbox on the left, and then you could click unlock. Go ahead, click unlock. Just do it momentary, okay? So it'll actually send a signal. You know, once it hits 100, it goes unlocks momentarily, and then it locks back down. Or if I click unlock one more time, and then click unlock the selected door and maintain, click OK, and then it'll unlock that door for an extended period of time. Okay. So and then it'll ping it again. So go ahead and resume normal operations when it lets you on that door. And resume will just put it back into its regular state. So let's go ahead to activity and go ahead and try your fob. Okay, so we've got access there, and let's go ahead and swipe it on the wireless lock and access there. So, and then if you refresh at the top left, it'll go ahead and show you that access. Yeah, so there you go. So Jason had access to the demo kit reader as well as the wireless lock. So that's how easy it is to program in the door. Go ahead and do one more thing for me. Go to door setup. So as far as when you actually set the system up, you would first kind of go to door setup. Go click on add doors and hardware. And then go to wireless. So this is, you know, you have hardwired doors and wireless doors. Click on hardwired again. So you have your list of Schlage AD300s right there. Do I have a mortise? Do I have a cylindrical? It shows you a picture. You know, it's kind of intuitive. And then Schlage VIP locks. Those are our previous. And then the reader interfaces, the networked as well as the regular hardwired. Then click on wireless. So here we have our, you know, exit device trim, our wireless lock, as well as our legacy wireless locks. So go ahead, click on the cylindrical wireless lock, 8400CY, and then click continue. Press OK. And this is going to pull up the template for what you need to fill out for this particular lock. So it's all kind of wizard based. So you click, you know, door name, just, you know, wireless lock. Usually be, descriptive with these, but, the timers, unlock time, special access timers. If you click on the standard reader, you could do entry and exit readers for for anti-passback situation, gates, things like that. So if somebody has access to park in the garage, you have to swipe in and then you have to swipe out before you swipe back in, so that you can't just pull in, swipe, hand it back to somebody else, they get to park for free, and the train comes in. So anti-passback is kind of the rule we do. And then pin pad, you select, do I want to use that keypad or not on that lock? And it would be prox plus keypad then. So advanced settings. Here you would just, if you wanted to link a camera to the door, you would just select a camera from the list, and we link that through our network video recorder. If you click select the PIM, so PIM 445, and then select door, click 1, and click installed. And then go ahead to schedules. So if you wanted this wireless lock to unlock, during a certain time schedule, you could create a time zone that it's going to unlock to. There's also this new PIN required schedule. So say after a certain hour, you want people to not just present their card, but also put in their PIN code, for that added level of security. And then toggle cancel time is if somebody swipes that door, toggles that door open, and now it's open in a toggled mode. At 5 o'clock, I want it to toggle closed. All right, so that's pretty much it. We're pretty much running to the end of what we wanted to do today. Well, thanks everybody. We appreciate your time. I think lunch is coming in here.
Real quick, I wanted to thank Igor, Jennifer, Mark, and everybody else for actually coming and supporting us, and also you for supporting us as well. I know it's a lot to take time out of your day.